Clap it up if you're queer in here. Ooh, hell yeah, okay. Officers? Round them up. No, I am queer, but recently, you're laughing too hard. Recently, I did go on a date with a man to completion. It was the first time in a long time that I've been with a guy, but I gotta say, no matter how much time I take off, giving head is like riding a bike. Yeah, in that I do not know how to do it. I feel like it's too late to ask my dad to teach me. But I'm doing bits in the bedroom, you know? If someone tries to go down on me, I kind of slam my legs together shut and I go, too slow. Got your nose. Or I know a lot of people like to have sex, you know, hamburger style, lying down. I much prefer having sex hot dog style with a hot dog. Or, oh my God, I know my favorite position is reverse missionary. That's when you travel to another country, convince someone to lose God. And also your butts are touching. A few days ago, I was talking to my friend, like Gold Star lesbian, and they were like, well, you know, I've never done doggy style. Or at least, I've never been the doggy. Dude, do you think doggy style is one dog and someone will call, I don't know, Greg the dog fucker? I was like, dude, that's so degrading to think I'm not a dog. I'm daddy's little slut. Speaking of, my dad's here. No. Just kidding. I haven't told him I do this. No, I have recently started seeing someone new. And the other day we were going to meet some of his friends and I could feel him like building up a little speech. And I was like, oh, he's gonna ask to like call me his girlfriend. So, you know, I'm batting my eyelashes, twirling my teeth. I don't care. And he goes, hey, I was wondering, before we meet my friends, would you stop threatening to kill yourself so much? Which is how I found out I cannot stop threatening to kill myself so much. I don't know when, but I've been whipping that out at the slightest sign of an inconvenience. Self-checkout doesn't work at Walgreens? That's cool. I'm gonna try the one in heaven. Oh my God. Everyone in here either has had or should have suicidal thoughts. But we're like desensitized to it. I just feel like, let's say you and your friend are running to catch a train, you guys miss it, you're bummed, and your friend is like, oh God damn it, I'm gonna kill myself. You're like, yeah, no, me too, same dude. I have friends. I take the train with people. You don't get worried, though. It doesn't ring alarm bells. But, okay, I think you'd get worried if you were running catch a train with a friend. You guys miss it. And their reaction is, oh, God damn it. I am not going to kill myself. Sure thing, buddy. Do me a favor. Let's say that a few steps away from the yellow line. It feels like you can joke about suicide, but only if you're getting like as silly and specific with it as possible. I texted a friend the other day that I wanted to put rocks in my pockets and walk into the sea. I think because, what was happening? It was the middle of a Wednesday, and my boss was asking me to do the job he pays me to do. And he responded, he wasn't like, oh, is she okay? Does she need someone to talk to? He said, walk into the sea. Slay, Little Mermaid. Another thing is, when it comes to dating, this is controversial, but I'm a huge fan of doing friends with benefits. And I know that's risky. I know it sounds like a surefire way to just lose a friend. I mean, I learned that firsthand. This is true. At one point in my life, I had a friends with benefits, and the friend passed away, taking with him most of those benefits. But the thing is, I've done so many casual hookups, so I'm used to playing like the game of it, because it is a game. You don't want to be the one to catch feelings, right? So you're sort of playing to see like, well, who can care the least? Who can be the most distant? So, for the other guy to just up and die. All right, dude, we get it. No strings attached. One of the craziest parts, so when I was walking to the funeral for this person, I got catcalled. And I know that's tricky, but I'm telling you, when I heard the voice of that catcaller, it was like, you know, after you lose a loved one, and you're like staring out a window, and you see a cardinal, and you just know. Well, imagine that cardinal was an old man yelling at you about the exact body part your loved one loved the most. So I'm walking to the funeral of someone I was sleeping with. I've just been catcalled. When my best friend in the world walks up to me, she just always knows what to say. She goes, "Oh, baby, you look slutty." You know he's not gonna be there, right? But I turned and looked at that catcaller and I was like, I think he already is. I'll change the mood, a lighter note. Okay, the RMS Titanic. I'm such a freak for the Titanic. Right? And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the event. You're literally wearing a lifeguard shirt. Where were you? They needed you. I'm so obsessed with it. Oh my God. I'm mad at you. There's something about it. Those Irish immigrants, that iceberg, that's good white on white crime. But here's a true little historical fact. The night the Titanic sank, April 14th, 1912. I was a very little baby. All of the maritime codes had just changed. So as the ship is sinking, the radio guys are actually sending a technically out-of-date distress code. They're sending out CQD. And right as the ship's about to go under, one of them's like, dude, that's how they talked. Bruh, we're using the wrong code. You have to send out the new one. Try SOS. But it was too late. Here's my beef with that. I feel like all the other ships know what they meant. Isn't that sort of a fascinating time to be a stickler? Get on board with me. Oh, wrong pun. I mean, what asshole was on the USS Grammar being like, oh, guys, I don't know. Can we send any more lifeboats? Are we familiar with Mark Wahlberg's quote about 9/11? Yeah. He said, good. Again. If you're not familiar, Marky Mark, he has this insane quote. He told reporters, if I had been on one of those planes, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. That's how I feel about the Titanic. If I had been in the North Atlantic, April 14th, 1912, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. We're doing history, we'll do science. I do feel like the way that we measure penises is very out of date. Because, I mean, size doesn't matter. Unless it's too big or too small, size doesn't matter. Unless it's shaped bad and I hate it, size doesn't matter. But I don't know why profiles always have inches. Because inches is just length and width. And when you want it to be, penis is a three-dimensional experience. So what makes the most sense is if you have a penis, go home tonight. Text me a picture. Stick your dick in a graduated cylinder. Let me know how much water you're displacing. All right? No cheating, keep your eye on that meniscus. All right, keep it going for the show.
For anyone here who doesn't know, Xanax is a medication that will instantly stop a panic attack. I've been prescribed 5 Xanax a month because nothing calms me down like trying to figure out if this is one of my top 5 panic attacks this month. I just tell myself, breathe, find your center, and remember that tomorrow might be worse. I don't even take a pill. I just stroke them all like prayer beads. I get cold sores sometimes when I'm anxious. I am so goddamn happy I don't have one right now. Oh my God. I could bomb the entire rest of this set and I'm still gonna watch the tape back like my upper lip fucking crushed it. By the way, does anybody here know the difference between cold sores and oral herpes? No? All right, I'll tell you. The difference is if you tell someone you have oral herpes, they remember it forever. Yeah. People remember oral herpes because it reminds them of genital herpes. And it fucking should. Those are the same thing, too. Yeah. And I know somebody here is probably gearing up to be like, actually, HSV1 is for your mouth and HSV2 is for your genitals. No. I've researched this exhaustively. I'm holding the microphone. I'm wearing glasses, so shut the fuck up. It used to be that HSV1 was for your mouth and HSV2 was for your genitals. But that was back in the old days when people kissed mouths and fucked genitals. But then in 1998, Bill Clinton invented loopholes. And here we are today. I know a lot of random medical facts because my mom was an ER doctor, and that was actually not her first choice career. My mom's first choice career was Lutheran minister. Yes, that is different. But she gave up on that dream because when she was little, she wrote the Lutheran church asking if women could be ministers, and they wrote her back and they said no. Yeah, so she decided, okay, if I can't be a minister, I'm gonna be a doctor instead. Which is a fucking all-time moment in the history of backup plans. Because my mom got that letter telling her she couldn't be a minister and went, guess I'll save people for real. Honestly, ER doctor seems like the most spiteful second choice imaginable after finding out you can't be a minister. It's like my mom's logic was, okay, if I can't work for God, no one gets to meet him. Oh, you think that bus crash is sending you to heaven? Not on my watch. You're staying in Rockford, Illinois with a shattered pelvis. Screw you. My parents totally swapped gender roles. My mom took on the stereotypical dad role. Like she had the high-powered career, she gave us her last name, she hit us. And then my dad took on the stereotypical mom role. Like he drove us to school, he cooked dinner, he emails us terrifying articles from the New York Times health section. These articles are so goddamn scary. And then like the subject lines that he writes are even scarier sometimes than the articles themselves. Like, my dad sent us an article recently. My dad is Jewish, by the way. So he sent us an article that was called Study of Jewish Women Finds Link to Cancer Without Family History. The subject line he chose for this email was just cancer. I saw the email and I was like, oh my God, who has cancer? And then I opened it and I was like, just me statistically. Thank God. So my dad is a secular Jew. My mom was a very religious Lutheran. And so when I was growing up, they would fight about religion constantly. Because my mom always wanted to take us to church, and my dad fucking hated that. But like, he never took us to temple or anything. And so until I was like 9, I literally thought being Jewish just meant that you hated church. And that made their arguments interesting. Because my dad would be like, I'm Jewish, this is not what we agreed on when we got married, I'm not gonna let you indoctrinate my children into your Christian ideology. And my mom would come back with, fuck you, you godless bastard, you're gonna burn in hell. Rachel, get in the car, you're coming to church. And I would be like, I'm Jewish. And she would be like, no, you're not. You're only Jewish if your mom's Jewish. And I would be like, he is. All right, you guys are fun. I'll open up about this. I am tired of pretending that I don't have penis envy. Thank you. I totally have penis envy. Do you think I like taking my pants all the way off to piss behind cars? No. I feel like penis envy gets a bad rap because Freud coined the term. And his theory of penis envy was when women are little, they notice they don't have a dick so they can't fuck their mom. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want a dick so I can fuck my mom. I just want to write my name in the snow. And then what can my thing do? What can my pussy do? Get fucked and bleed. That's what I yell at people who cut me off in traffic. I'm gay, obviously. Yeah, I got to it eventually. We're there. And I'm dating someone right now. I'm dating a woman who lives in Canada. She is real. Thank you so much. Yes, I really am taking international flights to do hand stuff. It's the best. She's polyamorous, though, which is interesting. I always really thought that would make me feel insecure, but I actually feel more secure than ever dating a poly girl. Because when I was in monogamous relationships, I would be like, if she meets someone better than me, I'll die. But now, I'm like, if she meets someone better than me, we'll reschedule. Her new girlfriend's a doctor? Good. That bitch sounds busy. Thank you. That is an old joke. The relationship's already over. Thank you so much. But you know what? The breakup was okay, too. It was. Because, like, I hate getting dumped. And in polyamorous relationships, you don't get dumped. It's like a minimum wage job. You don't get fired. They just cut your hours until you quit. All right. I am trying to get back out there now. It's hard, though, because I have really bad depression. And one of the symptoms of depression that people don't really talk about much is it can cause dryness in your date's pussy. Yeah, I cannot roll with the punches of casual dating the way that most people can. Like, it always sucks when somebody cancels a date, right? Because you prepared for the date. You're like, ugh, I shaved my legs for nothing. But it is so much worse when you're depressed. I'm like, oh, you can't come over tonight? Well, then why did I just throw out 30 Gatorade bottles full of piss? That's right, we're closing on Gatorade piss. Thank you.
Where the bad bitches at? Bad bitches make some motherfucking noise! We got some bad bitches in the audience tonight. Can I let y'all in a little secret? I'm terrified of bad bitches. I ask at the start of all my sets so I can identify the threats. A friend of mine told me he's been trying to catcall women more respectfully. Here's my impression of a guy catcalling respectfully. Thank you. That was a guy catcalling respectfully. You can't do it. Catcalling respectfully is like trying to suck toes platonically. Like, give me them piggies, my nigga. I do gotta be honest with y'all, though. I try to live by the golden rule. I try to treat others the way I want to be treated. The problem with that is, I got catcalled recently. That is how I want to be treated. I remember exactly what they said. I was walking down the street and somebody shouted, "Hey, boy, is that dick fat too?" I was so flattered I ignored the two. I just said yes. Who's asking? I have been losing weight. I'm actually down about 70 pounds since the start of last year. Thank you. It's been an interesting journey, man. Like, when I first started trying to lose weight, it was hard for me because I didn't have good internal motivation. Like, my first reason why I wanted to lose weight is my best friend told me he thinks I look like Peter Griffin in blackface. So I went to the gym to find a new best friend. The cool thing about losing weight, though, is you don't have to know why you want to do it when you start. You can just start, and you'll figure it out as you go. I noticed that even across, like, a session at the gym, my motivation gets, like, way more intense. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, oh, look at you go, stud. You got this, stallion. Everybody at this gym wants to have sex with you. And like 45 minutes later, it's like, you owe it to your mom to watch her die. Y'all are fun. I like y'all. Y'all a goofy crowd, man. I'm tired of trying to speak truth to power. I want to speak lies to idiots. My ideal set is me yelling shit like, Adolf Hitler was a black man. A little bit more about me. My name is Dorian Debose. I was born and raised in the state of Kansas. Who can relate? Being born and raised in Kansas just means I was raised around a lot of white people. And, it was I don't know, man. I hear people say shit like, oh, I always felt like I was too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids. Have you ever considered that maybe your vibe was just terrible? I don't know, I think it's impossible to be too black for suburban white kids. I grew up around a lot of wiggers. You know what, you're right. That's their word. I should not use that word. I apologize. I grew up around a lot of Afro-Saxons. A lot of Robert De Negros, if you will. A lot of white boys trying to put me on to Drake. I've been trying to get back into rap music. I don't know. Like, all I ever listen to now is really sad music. Where my Sufjan heads at? If you cried the big thief this week, make some noise. I think that makes me a really sad person. Like, all day, all I hear is, I'm fucked up, I suck shit, everybody hates me. I'm like, why do I feel so glum? I must not be getting enough sun. I think I would like rap more if Jay-Z told us what the 99 problems were. Like, problem 54, my tummy hurts. Problem 68, I like dogs, I don't love dogs, ho. I've actually been working on an impression if you guys want to hear it. Okay. This is my impression of Gay Z. This is Gay Z. Yeah. I'm not a fuck boy, I fuck boys. I think that was Gay Z. I also have a gay Macklemore. Yeah, when I was 12, I thought I was gay because I was gay. am a bisexual man. Who cares? I was bisexual in the state of Kansas. This meant I was a fucking hero. Now I'm bisexual in Bushwick, Brooklyn. This means I'm straight and it sucks. I've been struggling to date men lately. It's really hard for me. Like, men like to invite me on like a lot of weed dates. You know about a weed date? You go to their house, you smoke some weed, and you feel out the vibe. The problem is weed makes me anxious. So I know what the vibe is going to be. The vibe is gonna be, I take 2 puffs, I lock myself in your bathroom, I start writing apocalyptic slam poetry, and then I pass out because I forgot to breathe. How you like that, baby boy? You like how daddy gassed his forehead hitting your counter on the way down? I'm sorry for calling myself daddy in that last joke. I don't like to be called daddy during sex. I don't like most of the things anybody's ever tried to call me during sex. With like one exception. One time I was about to come and the person said, "Yes, governor." And I like that a lot. Turns out I'm cool with the power dynamic. I just want to be elected. Fuck, did you come? Can I have your vote? All right, y'all, I've been Dorian Debose. You take care.
I'm officially 1 year clean from having health insurance. So that's right, have not touched the stuff in a full calendar year. Really changes how you go about life, right? I wear flat shoes now. Can't risk it. I don't touch birds or cross-eyed horses. That's all over. But doing pretty good otherwise. Are you guys rich? Come on. You have to tell me. It's like being a cop. You have to tell me. I'm not rich. I live in a small room in a small apartment. I hate buying household stuff because it just reminds me how much I don't live in a proper home. Like, for example, the other day I bought an extra long 8-foot charging cable for my phone. But when I brought it home, I realized that I couldn't fully unfurl it in my room. So now it's just kind of an aspirational extra long charging cable for my phone. Kind of got me thinking if I ever wanted to kill myself, right? I don't think I could do it in my room, just like dimensions-wise, right? I think I would have to go out into the common space to set up a chair, right? And that kind of begs the question, do you face towards or away from the sink full of dishes? I'm doing okay. I was listening to some guy friends talk about pussy the other day. Are we familiar? Pussy? We know pussy? Okay. All right, good. No problem, right? They were just talking about pussy, but I did have a thought listening to them, right? I realized, oh, I'm pussy. Right? Thank you. That's kind of a tough pill to swallow. Right? I'm Karli. But, I guess in some instances, sure, right? I'm pussy. I'm seeing some pussy here tonight, even, right? Well, some pussy. Some pussy in the back, I think. That kind of got me thinking, I could start referring to the treasured women in my life as pussy, right? Nothing's stopping me from doing that. I'm at a friend's engagement brunch, and I could be like, I wouldn't be the woman I am standing here today if it wasn't for all the incredible pussy in this room. Cheers. So, you're all welcome to use that. That's right. I am seeing someone. Thank you, yes. Mostly at the foot of the bed, the bottom of the stairs, right? I would put his age around 12. Victorian clothing. Victorian. We haven't spoken much, but it feels pretty serious. I actually think I'm about to meet his parents pretty soon. That's exciting. They are really far out in the backyard, but every time I look, they're a little bit closer. So, fingers crossed on meeting his parents. That's exciting. I did have a threesome for the first time recently. You guys like that? That's right. I won. Thank you. The other two people are dead. That's how you win. That's how you win one of those. No, we did it normal style, right? Because it was my first time. So it was 2 girls and 1 guy pretending to be a surgeon who separates conjoined twins. Just normal stuff, right? No, the weirdest part about it for me was watching the other 2 people have sex, like, without me, right? Like, in front of me. I had never seen that before. You guys are from Berlin, and that does not faze you. But it was new for me. It was like I was watching a car accident, and then I remembered that I was supposed to be masturbating to it. So, I'll tell you a story from back when I did have health insurance. The good times, as I like to call them. I was at the gynecologist, and it was going fine, right? Business as usual. She was rotating my tires, no problem. And then she asked me, can I perform a brief rectal examination? That's the butt, right? And I said, I guess so. And when I said that, she asked me, is that how you always give consent? Kind of a crazy question, right? I'm in the stirrups, right? I'm looking up at her, and she's looking down at me. And kind of right then and there, we discovered there's no wrong way to start a podcast. So that's what we did. Thank you. Yes. While we're on the topics, anyone doing Kegels in here? Anyone busting out a few Kegels? If you don't know what those are, it's like a exercise you do, right, for your pussy. Cunches, if you will, right? It's the first time I've ever said that. Figured save that for the taping, right? But my theory about Kegels is that no one ever does that, right? No one does that ever, unless someone is talking about it, right? Are we getting in a few reps right now? Because all of a sudden we remember that we can. At all times, totally undetected. So, you're welcome. Oh, not all at once. You guys are fun. Oh, you guys are fun. That's right. All right. Well, guess I'll leave you with this, right? Have you ever been in this situation? Probably more of the women would have been in this situation. A man is playing video games, and you are somehow also there. Have we experienced this? I know it doesn't sound possible, right? Have you ever started asking questions about a video game just to make sure you're still alive? Like, oh, is this your inventory? It doesn't seem like you have this much stuff with you when you're just walking around in the game. A lot of granite and cabbages and carrots with the top still on. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm carrying around a bunch of stuff that no one can see also. Maybe we could talk about that sometime. Could be like a side quest or like a mini game. All right, that's it. Thank you.
I feel like the media freaks out about trans women a lot, but you don't hear as much about trans men, like when a woman transitions to a guy. And I think the reason for that is like, that's just really cool, you know? That's like a chance for me to make a new friend. And it's so hard to make friends after you're 30, you know? Like a trans, you're like, hey, welcome to the winning team, you know? Yeah, you're gonna like it here. So let me show you around. Here's where we piss. It's everywhere. And here's how to lose $2,000 trading Bitcoin in one weekend. Oh, you're sad? Go punch that drywall, you know? You'll feel better.
Summer, I went on a date with a woman, and she told me that I came off as irresponsible. And then, I swear to God, immediately after saying that, she paid the bill with a Forever 21 credit card. Does anyone here have a Forever 21 credit card? No, that would be irresponsible of you. I'll tell you what, though, if you did, we could date for way too long. Be a good time. I am having a good week, though, mainly because my roommates are out of town. So, yeah. We all know what that means. Got to break out the loud vibrator. Yeah, I got to try the highest setting for the first time. Let me tell you guys. Honestly, too strong. It does not need to go that high, in my opinion. Also, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I don't know who's in charge of making the patterns on vibrators, but I've been talking to people, and it turns out we actually don't need the Morse code setting. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Kind of turns out no one's coming from sending an SOS through their pussy. I would know I'm trying. Not working. I still love my vibrator though, because vibrators, they never really let you down in the way that people can. And what I mean by that is this one time, this man was going down on me, and I couldn't really get into it because in that situation, like, spotlight's really on you. I kind of felt like there was too much pressure, and then like not enough pressure. And then like way too much pressure. We were not finding the right amount of pressure. And then he said something that I think about all the time still. We're truly like 30 seconds into being down there. Like, I don't even think I had registered he went down there yet. He looked up, we locked eyes, and he said, "I love how quiet you are when you come." If you're not laughing, you didn't get it. No problem, hadn't come. Okay. Hadn't come. I do, though, I want to give him credit and say I hadn't come, but I did, maybe. Sigh, thank you. Yeah, I was maybe like, and he was like, "That's it, you're welcome." Everybody wrap up, I think we're done for the night. I think it's a crazy thing to say, because I think we can all agree, like, sex, it's not a game, it's not a competition, but the point of sex is to come so loudly and so beautifully that all 4 of the voice judges turn their chairs around. At least the way I'm playing it. Sorry, I just came again. It is so quiet. That joke confuses people sometimes. They ask if you're a lesbian, why have you been with men? To which I'm always like, I don't know, man. Probably the same reason I'll see a movie even after everyone tells me it's bad. Sometimes I just want to be a part of the cultural conversation. I do feel like before we get any further, I should tell you guys I am on my period, which, yeah, no one needs to freak out. Saw you flinch, no problem. No one needs to freak out. All that really means for me personally is that the dirt under my nails is actually blood. Which you can think that's gross, but you gotta admit you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And what I'm talking about is, of course, that when you're on your period, you bleed from your nails. Some people are laughing. The allies in the room are learning. This guy's taking notes. I will say this might only hit for you if you get your period, but I did accidentally buy the pads without wings on them. Yeah, so I am thinking about killing myself. If you don't know what I'm talking about, those things are basically useless. Like, they're not catching a single drop of blood. Like, because there's nothing holding them in place. So they're just down there like one of those, like, car wash inflatable dancing guys. Just like... useless. Like, I may as well have brought a bucket of blood up here and just dumped it out, okay? Which is a joke, but front row, splash zone, okay? Honestly, back row too, I got a heavy flow, okay? It'll reach. I do have a job. I feel like I should let you know. I used to work in an office, and the hardest lesson I learned working in an office was about HR. And I felt like, okay, because HR, they say that they're there for you, but really they're there to protect the company. They're there to protect the boss, right? Some of us have been burned before. Yeah, HR is like the excuse you give to cancel plans last minute, and that it's not real, okay? It is fake. And some of you didn't like that. Oh, we're all making it to plans all the time? We're all following through? Okay. HR is like this room in that it's made up of liars. Who I love. And I'm not just saying that to keep my job. I learned that a lot about HR. My favorite time I learned that was I had a really, truly, truly terrible boss. And one time she started a meeting by saying, wow, Tina's had 3 cupcakes already. Yeah, to which I said, you can't give me an eating disorder. I'm not your daughter. And then HR talked to me. Okay. Because my boss pays HR. And all I do is eat their cupcakes, okay? Like, I'm just saying it's not a very fair fight if one side is paying the referee, right? This is a workplace, not the NFL, okay? Is that what people say about the NFL? I'm just trying to make it relatable for some of the men watching, okay? I love you guys. I got a pap smear recently, which, yeah. Right outside at the food truck, they're giving them out, if anyone wants one. I'm always shocked every time I get a pap smear and they haven't updated the process yet. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of room for improvement in that field, okay? If you don't know, a pap smear is basically where they take a metal rod and put it into your vagina. Sorry, I saw you flinch. I know some people don't like that word. I don't have to say it. I want to respect that. I don't have to say it. They put a metal rod into your cunt. And then, like, while it's in there, it kind of, like, opens a little bit. Honestly, it'd be weird if it didn't. No, it opens because ultimately the point of a pap smear is they're trying to get out all of the sand that gets stuck in there when you go to the beach. So, and then after that, they put a swab in to get a sample to test. And I was looking at the doctor, gynecologist. Gynecologist is what you call it when the doctor is a woman. Some people are laughing, some people are learning. I was looking at the gynecologist and I was like, hey, I know this doesn't really matter to you, but the metal rod kind of hurts me. I'm kind of wondering, because it's bigger than the swab, if we can just skip the metal rod, just put the swab in. And she was like, no, I have to use the metal rod. And I was like, no, you don't. And I was like, I don't want to like step on anyone's toes, but to get inside me, I know you don't need that rod because I've actually had sex before, okay? And not once has someone entered me and been like, shoot, I forgot the metal rod. You know, like I'm looking at your swab and it's smaller than 2 fingers. And people are getting at me with just a few sweet nothings, okay? Right? Like, babe, you don't need a metal rod. You just need to tell me I look nice today, okay? Just tell me my smile lights up the room better than this overhead lighting you got. It's gonna slip right in, all right? And she was like, no, I need the metal rod, okay? It's my emotional support metal rod. I need it. And I was like, okay, doctor. Doctor is what you call a gynecologist when you're no longer vibing with them. I was like, okay, doctor, if you can't get inside me without a metal rod, I don't really trust you, okay? So why don't you take off your little white trench coat, give it to my girlfriend, she's gonna give me the pap smear, okay? And we're gonna need the room while she does it, okay? Don't worry about closing the door, I've been told I'm quiet. You guys have been so awesome. I'm Tina Sieben. Thank you.
I just quit my job. I was a writer at Saturday Night Live. Wow, she says. But I quit. They wanted me to come in on Saturdays, and I go, I don't think so. I got stuff to eat. I got a bag of wet spinach at your mama's house. I didn't quit because they didn't take any of my ideas, which they didn't, but I just didn't like it. It didn't work for me. But now I have all these really good ideas that I just can't do nothing else with. So do you mind if I share one of my sketch ideas with you guys? Okay. And then if you guys like it, maybe we can all get together and kind of like scab and then like write something for Tubi or Mubi. Okay. So here's my really good idea. Okay. She-Hulk. I'm laughing already. She-Hulk, this bitch walks into a damn gynecologist's office. Okay, now I've heard everything and more. She-Hulk goes into the gynecologist's office. She goes, Doc, is there any way that when I Hulk out, I can keep my pussy small? Yeah, and they said we can't say pussy on NBC, and I go, I quit. We can't say She-Hulk's tight little pussy on NBC. I quit! Oh, but I bet we could say Shrek's muddy foreskin. I bet we could say that all day long. Everybody would love that. Shrek's stinky fungi. Al Roker's talking about it. Everybody loves it on NBC. We could say peacock. You. I'm scared to cuss. You. After working a job like that, this kind of a corporate entertainment entity, it kind of got me thinking for a while that art is dead. I thought art is dead, art sucks. Everything that's made now is just a copy of something else that was already not that good. Art sucks, art is dead. I thought that for a while. And then I went on an airplane and I saw a guy wearing a hat and it said, I'm non-binary. And I go, is that Jean-Michel Basquiat? Give him a grant. Give this guy a grant. guys can make art too. It's crazy. So now I got all this free time. I don't got no job. But I am married. Woo! Ow! I'm married, straight married to a man. Sorry, I know. And we recently decided to open our marriage. Woo! Yeah, we're polyamorous, and whenever we tell anybody that, they really like that. Everybody really likes that idea. Nobody thinks it's bad. Everybody thinks it's really cool. No one's talking about it behind our backs or nothing. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's so, I wish I could do that. No, they don't do that. Everyone kind of gets really mad. But we are open because, you know, I want to have sex with lots of different types of people, different types of sex with different types of people. So we are polyamorous as well. That's right, we're poly gonna get divorced. Give it up, baby. No, all is well. I want to have a lot of fun and interesting sex before I die, and my body is decaying a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. Recently, I pulled a muscle in my back from getting eaten out. And the person eating me out was an older guy, so he kind of had to prop me up in a certain way so his back didn't hurt, which kind of made my back hurt. And so it's kind of the snake eating itself out. We're all gonna die really, really fast. I'm also pansexual. Does everybody know what that means? Yeah. It's like bisexual, but it takes longer to say what it is. I once said that I was pansexual to an audience, and someone was like, "You fuck animals?" I go, "Yeah, but I eat them afterwards." You know what I mean? Waste not, want not. I don't mean to be so like, I'm this, I'm that. This is identity comedy. I wish in the deepest parts of my soul that I could have an observation about literally anything. But all I can think about is what's going on up here, baby. So you got to hear me talk about my pussy and the things I like to do about it. I recently joined my very first dating app. It's called Field. Are we familiar with Field? Oh, yeah. Field's for the freaks. Spelled F-E-E-L-D, strike one. And Field is for kinky people, for people who want to have threesomes, specifically straight guys with bisexual girlfriends who are like, we're looking for someone who's a woman who won't steal my woman away. Because women can't do that. Only the guys can do that. And then also, it's a place for guys who wear hats go. And they go, "Can you believe I'm wearing this thing?" That's what Field is for, to kind of fuck those guys. And I'm on there specifically because I'm kinky, donkey. I'm kinky. And I'm looking for... It takes a lot of dumb shit for me to come. And I'm just outsourcing my pleasure. Specifically, I want someone to smack my ass. I want someone to smack my ass so hard, so much that it ends up looking like an old map. You know what I mean? Bruised. Oh, someone spilled tea on it a long time ago. It stinks. Unfortunately, the only people in my DMs on this app are guys who describe themselves as neurodivergent dog dads who are into rope play. And that's kind of whatever you think it is. And I go, okay, I'll take what the Lord give me. I'm Christian. I could talk to a guy about trains for a long time. As long as he eats me out, who cares? But what I'm really looking for, honestly, is someone who's kind of like, do you guys remember the slice of orange that was on the Shock Top beer bottle? Okay, he was a slice of orange, and the rind was kind of his mohawk, right? And then he was wearing sunglasses because he was just too cool. And he was on a beer bottle. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. somebody who kind of feels like they know how to 3D print a gun, but like is too weak to kind of hurt me. And that's kind of what I want. And yeah, I looked it up. He's got a name, and it's Wedgehead. And I know every single one of us knows a wedgehead that they can let me eat their butt. Huh? Anyway. I know why you're all here, and that's because you want to hear me talk about it, so I'll talk about it. It's true. It's true. I did show my full bush in an Amazon pilot that was not picked up. Thank you so much. And the trades are going, did they not pick it up because of the bush? We'll never know. But we know that year they did pick Maisel, and God bless. You know, it was interesting. Even though the pilot wasn't picked up, people still find it. Men from around the world have found it. And they like to message me about what they think about my bush, whether they think it's real. I get a lot of messages being like, ooh, I wish I could visit that jungle down there. Ooh. I wish I could swipe through that jungle. I also get lots of messages being like, hey, do you show your bush in any other TV shows? Okay, I'll share a message I got from a guy with you really quick. So I got a message from a guy about my bush. Here it goes. I gotta sing it because it makes me too great and it's great. Bye.
I went to my high school reunion this summer. Has anybody else here ever made a mistake? I only went to my reunion because I wanted to see who else is gay now. And I'll tell you this, it is never who you hope it's gonna be. Not even one guy from the football team. What a waste of a rental car, right? Never who you want it to be, but it's gotta be somebody, right? So it's everyone from the Frisbee team. Not ideal. Sometimes it's who you most suspect. Are there any other gay people here? Oh, wow. Okay, I feel safe again. Oh, that's nice. I wasn't out when I was in high school, so I used to try to convince the other boys that I totally had crushes on hot girls, just like everyone else. But then, as a gay teen, I would often miss the mark on what a hot girl was. You know, there'd be a group of boys in the locker room and one of them would be like, fuck, dude, Megan Fox is so hot. And then I would try to participate. I'd chime in yeah. You know who I think is hot? Madonna. 50-year-old mother of 3. I think that's what gets all us red-blooded bros going. Any of you other boys happen to see bona fide sex symbol Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act? You just know she was a Hellcat under those robes, maybe. It'd always take me 1,000 guesses. I'd be like, Sandra Bullock in Miss Congeniality. And they'd be like, you're going to be asked to leave the locker room really soon. And then I'd be like, Beyonce? And they'd be like, you can come back. You're getting closer. And then I'd be like, Rihanna? And they were like, we knew it was worth waiting for you to get there eventually. I know, yeah. Straight men love Rihanna. And I actually had to learn that on a Snapple cap. So. That Snapple got me through high school, though. Does anybody here feel like they have a good gaydar? That's gay radar if you're stupid. Okay, yeah. Are you straight or gay or? Me? Yes. You're gay, okay, yeah. Honestly, I feel like gay people generally have a worse gaydar than straight people. Have you guys noticed that? I feel like it's because straight people have been practicing since middle school to get it right. My brother is straight. He has a much better gaydar than I do. My cousin brought her girlfriend around to Thanksgiving last year, and I was blindsided. I was like, holy shit, can't believe Anna's fucking gay too. And my brother was just like, why? I can believe it. She's been in the Coast Guard for 6 years. How did I miss that? Of course, she loves pussy. It's salty like the seas that she loves. Oh, now I wish I had changed her name more, honestly. I forgot we were filming this. We'll just like dub in like Angela or something. Have you guys been watching the Olympics? Okay, I feel like that's enough for me to continue. Go USA, right? I was reading an article's headline that was in the form of a tweet. I don't know if anybody else here is into literature like that. But I read this tweet, and it said that in the next Winter Olympics, they're gonna have their first same-sex figure skating pair. Like, that's pretty exciting, right? Yeah, we can clap for that, yeah! Absolutely, yeah. Finally, there's gonna be a place for gay people within the world of competitive ice dancing. Isn't it amazing? They were even able to find 2 gay figure skaters and pair them up. I don't know about you guys, but I think now that they're letting the dudes pair up, I think this might be the end of boy-girl figure skating. I don't think there's a lot of lesbians in figure skating. Like, they're too busy with shot put and rugby, you know? Why would they? Neither. But I feel like there's probably like 2 heterosexual men in all of the figure skating world, and I want to meet them. Like, don't you? Want to get to know the kind of guy who like finishes ice dancing and then takes off a skin-tight leotard and just wipes his brow like, woo! Now it's time to go get some pussy. I'm terrified of him, but I do want to hang out. I think it's very funny when straight men complain about having to watch women's sports. Have you guys heard this? People, like straight guys complaining about that? I think it's so funny because I also prefer watching men's sports. And it's because I'm fucking gay, bro. You know? Like, that's how you sound when you're like, get Taylor Swift off the screen and bring back those big sweaty beefcakes. You know? Like, whenever a straight guys try to explain to me why they prefer watching men's sports, it always just feels like they're trying to sell me on the gay lifestyle. Even though I don't want to reveal too much, but I'm pretty balls deep in the gay lifestyle already. Like, I don't need a sales pitch at this point. But they're always just like, yeah, I like them better. They're just so much bigger and stronger than women. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's hot too. Like, what are we talking about? They just play at such a higher level, and I'm like, why are you sweating right now? This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The Olympics this year, trans women in sports was like a huge topic. I don't know, does anybody else here come from a conservative family? Look at those sad, defeated woos. All right, well, if you haven't come from a conservative family, I guess there's all different kinds of privilege, aren't there? Brooklyn. Whenever I go home to visit family, there's always Fox News blaring, and there's always somebody on there who's like, trans women should be banished from all sports forever. I don't think they should even be able to run in the park if they're faster than I am. If it makes me feel bad, it should be illegal. And it's just so funny to me because their argument is that if we let trans women compete, there's going to be all these men out there who are going to transition to women so that they can win at sports. And I don't know if anybody in this room is thinking about doing that. But if you're planning to transition to a woman for all the money, power and fame that comes along with women's sports, I have some heartbreaking news for you. And it's that you'll make more money as a man in 5th place. So you should probably, maybe the implants aren't worth it, ultimately. All right, does anybody else here have a coworker who they hate? Okay, well, we're not all from such happy workplaces, I guess. Okay, I have a coworker, just hear me out. I don't like her because she keeps bringing up the fact that she's a sapiosexual. Do you guys know what that is? All right, I begged her not to tell me what it was. But we're here now. And it turns out that it's somebody who claims to be attracted to intelligence in others. I know. Can you think of anything grosser, right? Like, that's disgusting. Like, I feel like what is so foul about that to me is that, like, clearly what she's saying is, like, I need to be with a fellow genius. And this bitch works for the same dog walking company that I do, so I'm not really sure what possible genius she could be referring to. She's like, I need to be with somebody who can understand my brilliance. And I'm like, really? There's a hole in that bag of shit that you're holding. I don't know if you caught that. It's all over your hands. I just feel like nobody who's actually smart would ever go around saying that, right? You know, like, smart people are happy to just be the smarter person. I mean, think about, like, the great minds of our time. Like, Einstein wasn't going around saying, like, oh, I need to be with another particle physicist. Do you guys want to know why? Albert Einstein was happy to just fuck his hot cousin in peace. They had a long and beautiful marriage. Did you guys know that? Albert Einstein married his first cousin, so he was like splitting atoms during the day and then cousin fucking the night away. What a dichotomy there, you know? All right, I feel like I'm losing you guys a little bit. I want you to know that this joke is about halfway over. So if you're not on board, get on board, all right? Charles Darwin. Another genius, right? He wasn't going around saying, like, oh, I need to be another expert on evolution. Do you guys want to know why? He was also fucking his cousin. Yeah, they had 10 kids together. I know, and it was all while he was studying reproductive evolution. You know, like, I wonder if he got to the end of his studies and he was just like, oh no, what have I done? Just looking at his, like, sea of three-eyed children, like, oh shit! I should have finished reading before I fucked my cousin so many times. Edgar Allan Poe! Literary genius, right? He wasn't going around saying, like, oh, I need to be another brilliant writer. Do you guys want to know why? He was also fucking his cousin, yeah, absolutely. Basically, what I'm saying is if you're my coworker and you want me to think you're smart, don't waste your time with the sapiosexual thing, you know? Just get to it and tell me you're fucking your cousin. Is anybody here single? Any? Okay, are there any, like, single women here? I'm not asking for me, but just tell me if you are. Are you guys on the apps? No. No? Okay, I bet I know why. My friend is a straight woman, brave of me. I'm an ally, you guys. And she was showing me her matches the other day, and I noticed that, like, half of her Hinge matches had put in their bio, like, tall. If it matters. Have you guys seen this? Yeah. Why the fuck would it not matter? Right? Like, can you even imagine if a woman tried to get away with that kind of bullshit? So I took her phone and I put in her bio, giant fucking titties, if that matters. You could bounce a quarter off this ass. If that's something you even care about. No gag reflex if you're shallow. She hasn't gotten a single match. All right, that's it for me. Have a good night, you guys.
I just got a new job, so that's pretty good. Thank you. It's like at a startup. You guys, like, I've never worked at a startup before, and this is what I feel. So it's like two guys had an idea, and then they hired, like, some smarty pants guys, and those are qualified, and then, like, they hired, like, some creative people, and they're, like, kind of qualified, and then everybody else is their nephew. I was being onboarded by like a baby boy the other day. I'm not kidding. He had like a little tie, and it was like over Zoom, so I was like proud of him. I don't know. I was like, all right. And he was talking really fast, like just super fast, and I was like, whatever this is, I'll get it later. But I was like, all right. And then all of a sudden he stopped abruptly, and he was like, okay, all right, so this is the part where we negotiate your salary now. Which is not how you do that. I was like, okay, what do you want to negotiate? And he was like, all right, you could make between 3,000 and 4,000. What do you want to make? And I was like, I guess like 4,000, right? And he was like, okay, shit. Are you sure? And I was like, can you make more? And he was like, no, you can only make up to 4,000. And I was like, I guess I'll take that then. And he was like, oh no. He was like going back and forth, and I was like, hey man, what's wrong? Are you all right? And he was like, nothing, it's just I thought you were gonna say less. And I'm like, yeah, why did you think that? And he goes, because like, a lot of times like women will say 3,800. And I was like, buddy, you weren't supposed to say that to me. I'll take 5,100. Is anybody Gen Z here? You guys yeah. You guys are my favorite generation. I feel like everybody's like doing generational divide, and I don't care about that at all, but I do care about who's most charming. And Gen Z has it like on lock. Like in terms of secrets, the boomers like they were just like, I love my dad and my government. It's like, I don't care. And then Gen X, that they were just like depressed all the time. It's like, all right, buddy. Like, I don't know. I'm millennial. We're kind of charming. We put our whole asshole on the internet. That's like very charming. But Gen Z is my favorite because you'll tell like your secrets and everybody else. Like you'll be like, I have autism and my mom commits fraud. And it's just like greatest generation. I don't know. Tell me everything. So I feel like a lot of people, I'm going to try this with you guys because you seem nice. I feel like a lot of people are in therapy right now, and I'm against it. No, I'm not. I like it. It's just like everybody's like been in therapy for like 4 years, you know? And like, so they're like at that stage where they're starting to have revelations, and they keep like, it's like listening to somebody's dreams. It's like, I know that you're like that. I've met your dad. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? So I feel like also they're using therapy terms wrong. Also, like, what is everybody right now? Like a gaslighting narcissist, right? Isn't that, yeah. Like, everybody's using that wrong. The other day, my friend came up to me and she was like, Karli, you'll never believe it. Craig is gaslighting me. And to me, gaslighting is like a big deal. It's like, you know, it happens over like a long period of time and you lose all sense of yourself. And also the gaslighter has to be smarter than the gaslightee. So I was like, Craig? I was like, oh, babe, like, tell me everything. Like, what happened? And she was like, okay, so like, I know he's sleeping with Tina. And I asked him about it and he said that he wasn't. And I was like, oh, that's just like bad lying, right? Gaslighting would be like, okay, like if she went up to Craig and she was like, you're sleeping with Tina. And then over the course of like months or years, Craig made her feel like she wasn't Italian. You're right? I don't know. There are levels. Don't talk to me after the show. And you're probably like, why do you know? And I know just because like I've been in therapy for a very like my mom met my dad in a mental institution, and neither are doctors. And then my mom went to clown college, so they just dropped me off in therapy. She also like didn't tell us she was going to she didn't go like how people like pursue their dreams. She kind of went like how construction workers just get a job. So the way that I found out was one day I like came home from school and there was just like a full clown in my kitchen. But it was the back of her because she was doing the dishes in her whole outfit. So like I walked in and I was like, hello? And then she like turned around and was like, I graduated, so. I I was like, from where? She was like, college. And I was like, I'm not going there. Now I do this. Good. Okay, so this part, I always like stall on this. Fucking, hey, you guys. You and me, cool. Anybody here also have a low libido? Yeah, me too. It's like cool. It's such a bummer. Everybody's like here to like sex, talking. Nope. So I have low libido, and like I went to my doctor about it, and like he's a guy, you know, and I was like, oh, he'll know. We've all seen those commercials, right, where it's just like, do you know a man who's soft? Get him a pill. You know, it's like an emergency. So I was like, okay, he'll know what to do, like for sure. So I went to him and I was like, hey man, I'm having like low libido. And he was like, yeah, for sure. That happens to women sometimes. And I was like, yeah, man, make it not happen to this woman. How about that? And he was like, oh, I would, but I don't know, your cycle and everything. Why don't you just give it like 6 months? And I was like, I could be dead in 6 months, dude. And he was like, don't worry, it's not dangerous. And I was like, I am dangerous. What are you talking? You're just gonna have me out on the streets without the will to come? What am I supposed to do for pleasure? Hit a guy with my car? Like, what are we doing? So I was mad, so I went to my friend, and I know you just got prescribed testosterone, and I was like, hey man, how'd you get the doctor to listen to you? And he was like, oh, it was so weird, like, I didn't even go in for that. I went in because, like, I get a little sleepy sometimes. And then my doctor was like, hey, man, are you satisfied with the amount that you're coming? And then I was like, I guess I could come more. And then he just gave me testosterone. And I was like, oh, this is why women drown their kids, right? Because, got it. I went to my other friend. She's like a older woman, and I was like, hey, I have like low libido, and she was like, if I'm being honest, like I haven't had libido for years, and I was like, oh my God, what are you doing about it? And she was like, I just took up painting, and she's like a good painter. So I was like, how much were you coming? But like also like I don't want to like learn trumpet, okay? I just want to come. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, good. I've been trying to have like a little bit of sex lately, like a little bit of like gay, well not gay, like communicative sex, I guess, which is gay or whatever. I just like want to have like I feel like I was having some like non-communicative sex for a while, which is like kind of straight. I didn't know it was a race. Do you know what I mean? Like if I knew that whoever comes first wins, like I would have been coming first. I started having sex early before I had sex. I was a lesbian, like sex, and then we did man sex. Okay. So the first time I remember, like, I had sex with this guy. He got done, and then he just rolled away. And I was like, come back. Excuse me, sir, we missed a spot. Because I was used to having turns, right? It's like your turn, my turn, your turn, our turn. And he was like, oh, sorry, babe, you're just so hot, I had to come. And I was like, yeah, first you have to come, and we all have to come. Get on back here. We have work to do. And then he told me he would get me back later. I was like, oh, we're not doing credits. This isn't layaway. And then he just like slapped my clit, and I was like so mad. I was like, you don't even know my middle name. You're just gonna whack it? That's crazy to do. But that's what I feel like keeps happening. It's like if you're not communicating, then everybody's just like doing a move, and then the other person is like dealing with your move. Okay, if you're like a move guy tonight, when you go home and you do your move, just be like, hey, do you like that? I feel like most people would be like, no. Okay, thank you guys. Have a good night.
I grew up homophobic. Who else? Clap it up. Wow. Everyone's looking at me like, my first words were, what are your pronouns? Actually. Yeah. I'm a Muslim from Texas. That's fucking double homophobia deluxe. Right? I had to undo double. Because here's the thing, New York, very gay friendly, it's the best. I am from Texas, where they're like, if I see a rainbow in the sky, I shoot it, okay? Okay? And I keep shooting that thing till the only colors left are red, white, and blue. You know? And I keep shooting that till the only color left is what, brother? White, right? Come on now, Red. I had dumb homophobic friends growing up saying dumb shit like, one of my friends was always like, I ain't kissing no man on God's green earth. I'm like, what a weird way to say you're only gay on the sea. Right? He's like, I ain't kissing no man on God's green earth, but on a boat, come on now. I mean, hey, that ocean's blue, but them balls won't be. You know, come on. Listen, we all kind of grew up homophobic because our dads are homophobic, right? All our dads are homophobic. And they all say it the same way, right? They're like, your friend's a little, What is this? I'm like, Dad, do you think that homosexuality is Parkinson's? And I grew up Muslim, so I had Muslim leaders doing homophobic speeches, right? But they were doing it in like deep Arabic. Okay, so it was like, I'm like, how are you gonna hate on gay people while sounding like you're sucking a dick, right? Right, bro, you can't be homophobic and be like, don't tell my mom. Half y'all are laughing and half y'all are like, what is going on here? Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm JK. It's all good. Texas is, that's what it is. Texas, I'm from there. I don't sound like it because I learned how to read, you know what I'm saying? But Texas does think New York is some left-wing hellscape, They're like, go to fucking New York. Everyone's having fucking gender-queer gluten surgery up there, fuck. Eating fucking non-binary cupcakes, fuck. That Bud Light commercial got him down. Remember Bud Light went kind of gay, right? Bud Light just said Bud Light is for all people. And straight guys in Texas were like, I'll fucking kill myself. I'll fucking do it. If Bud Light was gonna lose all their straight fans off the tiniest of gay marketing, should have gone full gay on the marketing, right? Commercial should have been like, yo, sometimes you butt chug a beer and sometimes you butt chug your best friend. Bud Light. Because sometimes he's more than just a bud, am I right?
I'm a little bit frazzled because I did get catcalled earlier today, which I didn't think I could be more of a wrong tree to bark up, but them cats is barking. I figured out the best way to react to a catcall. You guys want to hear it? Yeah. All right, the best way to react to a catcall is to repeat it. Guy comes up to me, he's like, hey, I want to tap that ass. I'm like, I want to tap that ass. He will stop. And it's so simple. It's a copycat game we've been playing since we could talk. But our dads were like, stop it, it's rude and annoying. And we were like, stop it, it's rude and annoying. Don't stop it, it's rude and effective. Guy comes up to me, he's like, hey, put your mouth on my dick. I'm like, you put your mouth on my dick. Guaranteed to work. The catcallers do not like the taste of their own penis. I don't like going to the doctor. I don't think they know what they're talking about. I was at the doctor a couple months ago. She offered me the HPV shots. I was like, well, I'm monogamous with my wife. Could I even get HPV from her? And she was like, yeah, technically if her cervical fluid were to get in your cervix, you could contract the virus. And I was like, oh, well, does that happen during lesbian sex? And she just gave me this look that was like, does it? She took out her notebook and pen. She was like, is it? She made me draw her diagram. I got fat shamed at the doctor. And here's the thing. I wish that she had just said, you're fat, you're overweight. But she was sassy about it, which I didn't like. She told me I needed to be exercising more. And here's the thing. I used to be a professional soccer player. It's required for all lesbians, actually. We all got to do 2 years pro soccer. It's like military service in Korea. So the truth is, sometimes exercising makes me sad because I don't have a team to work for anymore. I don't have a game to win. So I thought I should share that with her, and I said, well, I used to be an athlete, and she cut me off. And she goes, we all used to be athletes. But the birds are still flying in the sky and the fish are still swimming in the sea. So get up and get moving. And I was like, ah! Did you write a fatphobic haiku for this? You're bringing the animals into it? What is this, the Aesop's fables of eating low carb? And she clearly said it to other patients before. It was so pre-rehearsed. Couldn't even put a little razzle-dazzle in it for me. And here's the thing. I'm upset that she said it to me. I'm upset that she's clearly said it to other people. But I do have to admit that it did immediately work on me. I did immediately start running and lifting weights so that I could catch her and kill her with my bare hands. Yeah, I had motivation again. Some people train for marathons. I was training to freaking murder my PCP. Just be like, who has sleep apnea now, bitch? Still me. I did set the resolution to lose weight this year. I'm not embarrassed of that. What I am embarrassed about is that on January 1st, I did something that takes so much hubris, which is that I took a before photo. Do you know how much audacity it takes to do that? It takes so much gall to be like, not only am I gonna achieve the New Year's resolution that 98% of the people who said it failed to achieve, but the results are gonna be so magnificent that I'm gonna need photo evidence. And here's the thing, I did not start losing weight, I started gaining weight. And instead of just letting it go, at the beginning of each new month, I took a new before photo. We were halfway into the year. It was June before I started to scroll through the photos, and I was like, dang, this first before photo is starting to look like an after pic. I think I'll just post these backwards on Instagram. I am trans, and sometimes people want to know how I know that I'm trans. And I feel like that answer is different for everybody. But personally, I know I'm somewhere in the middle of the gender spectrum because of how I argue. Because in an argument, I fight like a woman, but I lose like a man. Because in the argument, I'm like, babe, can we have eye contact? Okay? Can we use I feel statements? All right? And before we say anything we regret, let's remember Mercury's in retrograde. And then my wife's like, no, it says on the website Wednesday is trash night. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll fucking kill myself! A lot of holes in the drywall. What can I say? That's non-binary behavior. I was at the gender clinic the other day. I was bored, so I was reading the pamphlets. Read the pamphlet about estrogen. I told you what to expect, any side effects to look out for. And then on the back, there was a little cartoon that was like, remember, check in with your doctor frequently. And there was a little person going, see you soon. And then I read the testosterone pamphlet, and everything was the same, you know, what to expect, side effects to look out for, the little see you soon. But then, at the bottom, in like bold, underlined, 72-point font, it was like, do not inject testosterone into your clitoris. And that is simply proof that trans men are men. Do you know how man-brained that thought is? To be like, I gotta put the masculine juice into my tiny, I need it to be bigger, I need to be bigger sooner. Do you know how many Kais and Alexes ended up in the ER? Before the doctors were like, we gotta put something on the pamphlet. I recently started watching porn for the first time. I'm a newcomer, if you will. I didn't really know where to start, so I just Googled it and I found what you freaks are watching. And I will say this, I did not know that women were squirting like that. I've made a woman squirt before, but I had never seen the like sports arena sprinkler system. I'd never seen that. So I Googled that. I was like, is that real? And it's real, but of course, there's the age-old debate, like, is it squirt or is it pee? Right? And to me, it's unacceptable that science doesn't know this, right? That is too much liquid to be coming out of a human body to not know definitively what it is. So I was like, I'll take this into my own hands. Literally, I was gonna make myself squirt. So I Googled that, and it gave me a checklist. And it was like, step 1, put on some calming music and light some candles. And I was like, yay! And then it was like, step 2, go pee before you start. And I was like, oh, well, that bodes very well for it not being pee, because if all the pee out, how more pee come out? You know? Like, that's science right there. So the last step, the third step, it was like, when you're close, push, and it's gonna feel like you're gonna pee, but you're not. You're gonna squirt. And I was like, okay. So I was close, and I pushed, and nothing happened. And I was really close, and I pushed really hard, and nothing happened. And I was super close, and I pressed super hard, and I did poop a little. So it's settled. Squirt is not pee, it's poo. And that's the scientific method. Thank you guys so much. I'm Kate Sisk.
I came out as queer kind of young, and there wasn't a lot of media I could connect to. Like, it was pretty much just Katy Perry's song, I Kissed a Girl, and I don't believe her. The one other thing I had was the TV show The L Word, which I started watching relatively young because I wanted to know, like, what being queer even meant. And there's a scene where 2 of the lesbians, the L Word is lesbian. 2 of the lesbians are having sex in the shower. And one of them gets up and goes to the toilet and starts peeing. And then the other woman gets out of the shower and gets on top of her, and they start having sex while she's peeing. And I remember watching this and being like, is that what we do? Do I have to do that? The answer, of course, is that you don't have to. You get to, right? I live with 2 straight men because I'm an ally to their community. They're bro-y, but like the exact amount of bro-y that I can handle, which is that when you meet them, you can immediately tell that they are straight, but you can also immediately tell that they have never caught a football, you know? We do a lot of cultural exchange in our house, you know? Like, I show them a clip from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I explain that I think Kendall Jenner is gay. And then they show me like a video of a whale exploding. Recently, one of my roommates turned to me and said, hey, have you heard about serving cunt? Kind of the way someone asks you if you've heard about Jesus Christ. But like, that's what living with 2 guys is, you know? Like, we're exposing each other to things we otherwise would not know about. Like, I'm a cute girl in my 20s. I should know about, like, Glacier and Margaret Atwood. And suddenly, I know a lot about animal attacks. And I don't mean the basic stuff like Harambe. No, if you want to know more about the 2007 San Francisco Zoo tiger attack, come talk to me after the show. Yeah. One of my roommates made a joke about the kind of pornography where women get trapped in washing machines. Do we know about this? Okay. I did not know about this, and I had follow-up questions. I was like, that seems so specific. And he was like, not that I watch it, but it's not that specific. And I was like, really? Are they custom building the machines to be big enough? Because what I thought it was this. And that is not what it is. No, it's a woman bent over with her head trapped in the machine, which is so much less whimsical. And, you know, at the start of the conversation, my roommate was very much like, I've never seen it, I just know what it is. But then he started saying stuff like, at the beginning of the videos, they act so trapped. But then later, they pull their head out like it's easy, which really disrupts the narrative premise of the film. So I think maybe he's seen some of it, right? I did not see any pornography until I was a senior in college. Does that make you guys like me more or less? My friend convinced me to try watching feminist pornography, which, after doing some field research, does seem to be the same as regular pornography, except it is better lit. And people are less likely to be related. My friend, she sent me a site. I clicked on the first video, and it was a teacher scolding a student. She was like, "You've been very bad. You didn't do your homework, did you?" And the thing is that I had been very bad, and I hadn't done my homework. And it made me so nervous, I turned it off, and I wrote my essay on Jane Austen. Which I think might be the first recorded incident in human history of pre-nut clarity. You know that thing your parents say to you when you're growing up that's like, "If all your friends jump off a bridge, would you?" It's like, yeah. I don't want to be the one girl with all the dead friends. My parents were very strict growing up. They said a lot of things like that. Because I'm from the South, people assume that my family is conservative. But I actually think my dad just made up his own thing. Like, all of his political opinions are just sort of creative. He'll say stuff like, "When will those clowns in Congress buckle down and make a city with no left turns?" And it's like, what political party is that affiliated with? He won't tell anyone who he has voted for in any election. Okay, mysterious. Growing up, I really tried to figure out if he was Republican, and then I thought maybe he was libertarian. And then I thought back to this time when my sister and I were little girls, and we were fighting over a doll. And my dad, he came into the room, and he put both our hands around each other's throats, and he said, "Share or just kill each other!" So I'm thinking, maybe he's a communist. I had a hard time in high school, and at one point, my dad came to me, and he said, "I struggled at this age too, and it's totally normal." And he didn't normally share things like that with me, so I was moved. I was like, "Wow, what happened?" And he said, "Oh, I got it into my head I was God's chosen one." That is not super helpful for an eating disorder. I asked my dad to go to therapy with me because, believe it or not, it's hard to have like a perfect relationship with someone who thinks he might be God. The family therapist's name was Dr. Amanda Gay. That's her real name. And when I asked my dad if we could go see her, he said, "Oh, it's odd that she goes by her first name, Dr. Amanda." And I said, "What are you talking about? Her name is Dr. Gay." And he said, "Oh, I thought that was her specialty." Yeah, and after we see Dr. Gay, we're gonna go see Dr. Jackass. Guess what her specialty is, Dad? I've had to see a lot of specialists. I have a medical condition called vaginismus. It means my pelvic floor is too tense. In layman's terms, sometimes my vagina just slams shut. And when you have a vaginal issue, everyone ever is like, "Oh my God, do you do Kegels?" No. I can't make it any stronger. I had to go to physical therapy for this, which is exactly what it sounds like. A nurse named Amy fingers you while telling you about her husband, who she met on Bumble. This, of course, costs hundreds of dollars. So when the question of like who's going to pay on a date comes up for me, there's no, "What are the genders? Who asked who?" No. If you want to do something with me involving my pelvis, you are paying for dinner. I have to break even on this thing. I got catcalled recently. I'll own that I was asking for it. I was wearing a shirt and pants. A guy wolf whistled at me and said, "Ooh, looking good, baby." And then seconds later, a different guy wolf whistled at me and said, "What's up, mama?" Wait. Guys, what am I to you guys? Am I mama or am I baby?
I just want to know who's breastfeeding who. All right, you guys. I've been Audrey Black. Thanks so much.
I feel like we're living in a crazy time, man. Everybody has opinions about trans people, which is crazy to me. Because trans people have always been here. They've always been here. It's never been an issue, but all of a sudden, everybody has an opinion about them. And I think it's because now, you know, they starting to get sexy. I mean, y'all see it, you know? Peekaboo, bad bitch alert. I see you, girl, you know? Them 2.0s, have you seen? Oh my God, they look fantastic. Them upgrades is paying off, you know? And people are mad about it. I see people pissed off, all these politicians on TV. Like, we gotta do something about these trans women, okay? They keep tricking me to sucking their dicks, it's bullshit. I'm tired of it, 7 weeks in a row. I'm like, damn, 7 weeks in a row? That's your girl now, you know? Right? Stop acting like you got bamboozled, you know? You got a type, sir, you know? You like them sturdy, you know, but... That's what all this bathroom fuss is about. It's like, she went in that bathroom? She needs to be in the bathroom with us, the men. I know what you're after, sir. You know? I don't see what the big fuss is about. I met a trans lady last week. She was cool as shit. Really was. I asked her her pronouns. You know, she was flabbergasted that I would even ask. She was like, oh my God, how'd you know? How'd you know I was trans? I said, girl, we the same height. What you mean? Come on now. I know a power forward when I see one, right? She was like, I do get rebounds. I'm like, I know you do. I know you do. You a hooper, I can tell, you know. To be clear, I ask everybody their pronouns, you know. I don't just ask you if you look suspicious. I ask you know. My favorite people to ask are like real macho dudes. Oh, I love asking a tough guy just to fuck up his week. You know, I just love it. You know? They get so insecure and sensitive. Like, I'm a real boy. They turn into Pinocchio. It's so cute. I play hockey. Relax, Tyler. I get it. You know.
I am dating a fella. He is 9 years younger than me. Thank you. It's a little fucked up because I'm 20, but some of you not laughing. Thank you. Think I'm a pedophile. That's fine. He likes dating older women, but I am the oldest one he's ever dated, so I am a little afraid he'll leave me for an even older woman. Right? He helped an elderly woman cross the street. I was like, okay, who's this slut, huh? Who's this hussy? No. I get jealous. I have toxic jealousy issues. Anyone have those? Okay, a few of you. No, okay, thank you. Good, dude. Okay, I was reading about how they used to throw hot young virgins in volcanoes. Do you guys remember that? Were you guys around for that? And I want to blame men for that, but as a jealous woman, that was for sure one of us, right? Can absolutely picture myself 3,000 years ago being like, the crops are failing? We should kill Rachel. Bye, Rachel. All right. I get jealous of Instagram. He can see all these hot ladies on Instagram, right? All his friends in bikinis, side boob, under boob, and people are like, Carmen, just work on your self-esteem. No. I'm not doing that. I want reciprocity. I want more dudes posting on the gram from here to here, okay? In thin gray sweatpant material. I know you know what I'm talking about. I want to be able to look at it and be like, oh my God, he's uncircumcised. Wow, okay. I want side ball. I want underball. Okay, get fun, get creative with it. I want to be scrolling through that on the internet, and my boyfriend looks over my shoulder and goes, what the hell are you doing? As I heart one of them, I'm like, oh my God, babe, work on yourself. Would be impossible to cheat on me, though. I have long hair. Anyone else have these? Find them coiled around their genitals. Right? I feel like any side chick trying would be like, who the hell is she? She needs to get this cut. Those are split ends, you know? My boyfriend took me to an EDM concert recently. He's white. It's electronic dance music. It goes like beep 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 beep. Sounds like a dial-up modem. He doesn't know what that is. Is not good music, right? It's beeps and tones, and then one lyric that sounds like an intrusive thought. Do you think you're better off alone? Side note, unintrusive thoughts. Sounds like you guys get them. The thoughts, ideas, images that pop into your head, they're usually very disturbing. You don't want them there. I was reading that. I was like, are people having other thoughts? Woo! Every day I'm like, do not let that cop get too close to me. Today's the day we steal the gun. And pow, 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 you know? Every toddler, I'm like, my God, it'd be so easy to just pop. They're so top heavy, you know? Says EDM concerts sucked, so my boyfriend goes, I'll make it better. Why don't you have some Molly, some ecstasy? And I'm more of a sleepy time tea kind of a gal. I once cut a melatonin in half. Also, the DARE program worked wonders on me. Like, you cannot peer pressure me. To be fair, they didn't warn me in that class, like when I was a kid, that there was gonna be some younger kid offering me drugs this far into the future, right? When I was 12, they weren't like, oh, guess what, buddy? There's a toddler out there somewhere, and he's gonna offer you drugs in about 30 years. Stay ready. I was not. I took the Molly, and I had a very intense trip to the medical tent. Have we been? Has anyone been to the tent? No one's been to the... You guys gotta go to the tent, dude. The tent rips, okay? Here's why. They give you free water. Water is $200 at music festivals. They also don't tell the cops, and they give you free health care. Oops, it's Canada in there. Yeah, the dream of American healthcare for all, it exists. It's just in the tent, you guys. I don't know what premium you're paying for your insurance. Stop that. Just get a ticket to see Skrillex. And then just bust through the flaps. Be like, hi, yeah, I have a mole that's looking very suspicious. I'd like a Diet Coke with 3 limes, please. Right? Medical care in this country is terrible. I just Google all my problems. I'll be like, can a headache kill you? And the internet's like, tonight, probably. I had to Google this. I'm not trying to be crass, but I wasn't about to go to urgent care to be like, what happens when you get cum in your eye? It congeals. It is what it does. It was the same day that Trump got shot in the ear. And I was like, look at us, both getting shot in the face, huh? And my shooter didn't miss, but... Yeah, medical care is terrible. I know it's terrible. We don't know anything about women's bodies in particular, and I know that because every show I like to announce, hey, women don't pee out of their vaginas. And then I can just feel someone learn something. Some of you are not laughing, but you are learning. It's important to me. There's a lot of holes down there, okay? 7, 8, no one knows for sure. Riddled with holes. I don't know anything about my own body either, you know? I Googled, I was like, what does a healthy vulva look like? And the internet was like, we have penises. Did you want to look at those? A vulva? Okay, well, we have half a papaya. We have a zipper that's undone in the middle. Is that what you have down there? So I just compare and contrast. I look with a mirror. But one time I took a picture with flash, and I would not recommend that. That's a lot of extra typography. Not a cartographer, but I was like, what's going on down here? Okay, I close up, zoomed on it, and sent it to 5 of my closest girlfriends. I was like, what do we think's going on here? They were like, yeah, what is going on here? What is this? I was like, it's Iraq from space, actually. So, does Iraq look healthy? Does Iraq look STD free? So, but it's a good life. Yeah, terrible medical stuff. I think I have ADHD. Can we prove that right now? Jesus Christ. Even when I'm having sex, like I'll be focused, like my fantasies, and then like my brain's like, da, 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 da. What makes wild rice wild? Some rice just taken off its shell. I don't know. I can't focus. I think I'm afraid I'll get dementia for sure, right? My grandmother got it. She forgot who everyone was, but she didn't forget music. That part of your brain never forgets, which is insane, right? Look your daughter in the face, be like, I don't know. A milli. Forever, right? Husband, wife, gone, wet ass pussy, locked in there for all time. But I do see a therapist. She's awesome. I love her so much. I'm on Zoloft. Oh my gosh, it's great. They did prove that antidepressants and just dancing, just as effective. That sucks, right? I don't want my therapist to sit me down and be like, oh, are you sad? Have you tried the stanky leg? I just prescribe you 2 whips and 4 nays. I'd be like, give me the pills, right? I love Zoloft. It has little warnings on the side of the bottle, and one of them is, use care if you're going to operate a vessel, such as a boat. Yeah, I wouldn't be on antidepressants if I had a boat. I'd be in my boat, dude. Doing boat shit. I was depressed for a long time. I couldn't get out of bed. Here's the thing, though. It's bed, right? Bed rips. Bed's amazing. It's not like I was struggling to get out of oven. All the signs of depression are amazing. I'll be in like a bathrobe, pajamas, eating ice cream in the dark. Okay. Thriving, right? If I'm in a business suit eating a plain kale salad, call the suicide hotline. Going to work is a cry for help, you know? Therapist is great. She is a black woman. I don't think I should be allowed to have her as this, you know? I feel like everything that comes out of my face just sounds like, and then they were out of oat milk. But it is hard to come on Zoloft. Here's what I've been doing. Every time I get 25 more milligrams of Zoloft, I just up my vibrator speed by 1 setting. Yeah, so I've gone from like to I'm at that one. The next one in the cycle is that one that's like And I'm like, who the fuck is that for? Right? What sociopath among us is using that one? Is any anarchist in here like, yeah, I'm gonna come to the Morse code? All right, my name is Carmen Lagala. You guys have been so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Are we doing anal? Not like us right now. Like culturally, are we? Culturally, are we? This is crowd work. Answer me. Okay, shut up. Only men are saying yes. That's not true. What is it? Your fucking birthday? Shut up, dude. I'm not doing it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm not doing it because it's boring. You know, to me, like, anal sex is more like pooping than it is like having sex. Because it's only fun if I can be on my phone the whole time. So that's the smartest joke I've ever ran. Thanks. I just went to hit my vape. Who do I think I am? Oh my, I did one joke that did okay, and I was like, I deserve a break. What is that about? I can't keep my paws off that thing. You guys vaping? No. Oh, the guy in the back who can't shut up said always. Yeah, that makes sense. The guy who brought a whole bottle of whiskey to the show said always. Cool. I'm glad we have something in common. I can't stop vaping. Dude, I was having sex with my boyfriend the other day. Boyfriend? Yeah. Yeah. I know what I look like. I know I look like I have 4 dogs with 6 legs between them and a girlfriend and funky pronouns. I know, but I'm having regular straight sex with a man I met on Hinge. It's very boring. Don't woo for Hinge. I know you guys, this audience looks like a Hinge crap. It's like, you're all beautiful women and regular dudes who work in finance. That's what's up. So I was having sex with my boyfriend the other day, and at the end, after he finished. Unless he's watching this, we finished. I'm an actress. He said, "Did you know that you had your vape in your hand the whole time?" And I was like, yeah. Yes. Because if I didn't, I'd be fucking doing this the whole time, trying to find it. Nobody wants that. Also, one time we were having sex animal style. People say doggy style, but it can be any animal you want. They all do it the same. Pick an animal, that's the style we were doing it in. It's like doggy style, but it's off menu and you have to ask for it. So that's how we were having sex. Don't picture it, I'll kill myself. And I was down here, right? And I noticed that my vape was under my face, like this. So I hid it. Like how a gerbil drinks water, you know? So it was gerbil style. In the end, we were doing it gerbil style. And I don't know if that's a joke, but it is a trick, you know? That is a good trick. If I can get it to come out the other end, we're in business, baby. That's huge. That would be huge for the team. I am a girl comedian. I hope that's become evident by now. Girl, I'm very brave. This is what makes me a comedian. This is all it takes. Without this, I'm just the most annoying girl at this party. Yeah. I came in and I was like, "Are you guys doing anal? I have a boyfriend." Sorry. But with this, I'm an artist. So I'm a girl comedian, and the thing that happens when you're a girl comedian is you get booked on comedy shows that are like, "Women are funny too," you know? You've seen ads for these. There's like a flyer written in period blood. It happens during a full moon in a clearing in the woods. We all hold hands. And the name of the show is always like, "It's legal for women to have microphones now," or whatever. It's like, "You can have tits and thoughts," or something. And the format of these shows is always the same. It's always 6 professional girl comedians and then a drag queen who's never done stand-up comedy before. And the drag queen, by the way, is always like doing me. Like she has big tits and big hair and she's like, "I just came here to tell it like it is." And I have to be in the back of the room like, "I thought I was telling it like it was." And here's what happens every single time. The drag queen who's never done stand-up before has the best set out of anyone on the show. Now, I don't know what's feminism about having 6 women do their job at their best and then having a man go up and be like, "Nailed it, first try, easy." I don't know what's feminist about that. I do now know why people don't want trans women in sports. Just kidding, I'm a good person. I don't think that. I think trans women are women and they can do whatever they want, unless it's stand-up comedy and they're better at it than me. And in that case, they can kick rocks. There's 2 women on every show and I must be one of them. God, can you imagine caring about trans women in sports? Can you imagine how much of a boring fuck you have to be to even know who's swimming? Gun to my head, couldn't tell you who's swimming. No idea who's in the pool. I do drugs and have sex. I have no idea who's swimming. Also, I don't do drugs. I'm sober. Thanks, 3 people. It's only the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I'll see some of you in a meeting in 2 years. No, I'm not like the lame kind of sober person. I'm not gonna try to fix you. I'm the cool kind of sober person. Like, I'm the kind of sober person that'll tell you that dog Xanax, that is regular Xanax. You can take that. You can take that out of any white lady's cabinet. It's in all of them, and you can have a pretty good time. You do have to figure out your weight in dog pounds, but other than that, I'm a Labrador. So, go based on that. I am sober, and the one thing that sucks about being sober, besides feeling everything all the time every day, is you do have to be accountable for your actions. Like, if you guys text your ex after this, you can be like, "I had too many White Claws at the comedy show, sorry," you know? If I text my ex after this, I have to be like, "I yearn for you." Ew, dude! That's so embarrassing. Did you guys know that you can yearn for a man in a ska band? Oh my God. That's horrible. like I said, I'm a girl comedian, so a side effect of that is all my friends are boys. No guys, girl, it just happened. I don't like it, it's just the way it is. And they're not good men, they're regular ones, you know? They're not bad either, they just like don't wash their sheets enough and listen to Joe Rogan if the guest is cool. You know these guys? By the way, remember how men used to be like, I read Playboy for the articles? I listen to Joe Rogan for the guest is the new that, just so you know. That's what that is. So those are my friends, and I was talking to them the other day, and one of them referred to jerking off as getting the evil out. Gross. Also true funny. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Here's my thing on that. I don't have a problem with that. You can call jerking off getting the evil out, but you can't then ask me why I'm acting crazy after you dump the evil in me. Dude, what happens every time you let some fucking guy goof inside you? Right afterwards, he's like, ugh, why do you have so many questions? I don't know, because I'm full of darkness, okay? And you know it's evil because if you leave it in you, something terrible happens. And I'm not talking about babies. I have an IUD and I take enough Plan B every year to kill a horse, all right? I'm talking about UTIs. I'm talking about falling in love with a wedding DJ. That can happen to you. That's sexually transmitted and can happen to you. And also, the wedding DJ is the guy in the ska band from the last joke. Sorry. I am glad I have a boyfriend now. Things are good. Being a single woman in New York is a fucking nightmare. Being a single woman in New York City is like walking through a haunted house of unsolicited penises. Do you know what I mean? Like there's one around every corner and they're probably not gonna touch you, but they're definitely gonna scare you. Like that's how it feels. I'll give you an example. One time, this one guy, a man that I had no sexual or romantic relationship with, he was my drug dealer, texted me and he said, hey, just so you know, I have a 13-inch penis. Couple things. First of all, no, you don't. I heard you say this, that's crazy. That's a good way to let the person know that yours is not that. First of all, no, you don't. Dude, I've interacted with your personality, okay? There's no way in hell you're packing a 13-inch hog and you got that mad when I didn't laugh at your joke. No way. No man on the planet has ever had a foot plus of penis and been insecure about his sense of humor, okay? And the other thing about that, and to the men in the room, if you didn't know this already, you can hold this with you always. That isn't good. Did you guys know that? That's not hot. You're a freak. Go to a doctor. Or a circus. Whoever will take you. I know I won't. Like, I can only speak for myself up here, but I personally cannot house a 13-inch penis. You know what I mean? Like, I have plenty of holes. I'll use them. I lied about the anal thing. But I don't have that much depth anywhere on my body, not even emotional. Where do I put this thing? And more importantly and more immediately, how do I respond to this text message? Like I'm supposed to be like, aww, you have a 13-inch penis? Well, I have a pussy like an elephant's mouth, so let's get out of here, you know? Speaking of getting out of here, I'm going to. You guys have been great. My name's Lizzy Cassidy. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I flew a kite last weekend. Yeah, because I don't need to drink to have fun. I need to drink to stop shaking. It's kind of a separate issue. No. I like flying a kite. I don't like how many of my friends have been like, you seem like you would like flying a kite. Hey, we can all feel that's an insult. But it's like, what kind of guy do you want me to be? You want me to be like every other guy my age, talking about stocks and investing in ETFs? I don't want to do that. Oh, you know what? I'm investing in my own ETF. I'm investing in extra time flying a fucking kite. That's my ETF. I don't know. I do have to ask the women in the room, please answer honestly. If you saw a man in a park flying a kite, would that do something for you? I respect your silence. I respect it. No, don't. I get it, right? But I have to ask, if you saw a man in a park walking a dog, that works, right? We all like that. Okay, here's the thing. They're the same thing. No, they are, because if I let go of the leash, they're both gonna run away. Yeah, and they're a lot more work than you think they are as a kid. And if you have one in your 20s, people are like, oh, that's your whole thing. Yeah, you don't have a lot else going on, I see. I do think it's funny, the things that dudes do to be attractive to women. Because, like, we're dumb, so we pick something dumb, like flying a kite. But then, like, occasionally you meet a guy who picks right, and it's the scariest guy in the world. Have we ever seen this? No, no one in this room has ever seen a man successfully hit on a woman. Is that what I'm... All right, all right. I don't know, I saw it once. I was with a bunch of friends. We went over to this guy we know's place, and he had a guitar on the wall. And I was like, oh, dude, can you play something on that guitar? He's like, yeah, of course. And he picks it up, and he starts playing that song from A Star Is Born. You know? The I'm on the deep end. The Lady Gaga song, yeah. He starts playing that. Every woman in the room starts singing along. He finishes the song, and I was like, oh, dude, can you play a second song on the guitar? I swear to God, he said, I don't need to learn a second song. That's the scariest man in the world. Speaking of scary men, I'm from New Jersey. Anyone else? No one else? All right. All right, I'm sure you guys have flaws too. I don't know. I did a show recently. I told the host I was from New Jersey, and he introduced me to everyone by going, this guy says he's from New Jersey, doesn't really look like it, but here we go. Which is crazy, right? Because it means he doesn't know anything about New Jersey. If you know anything about New Jersey, you know everyone from New Jersey either looks like me or is Italian American. That's all we have. We have one person who's doing both. It's Ariana Grande. Congratulations to her. I'm glad you guys like that, because I have been like, does that joke work now that she's white again? That's big concern. I don't know, because I'll be honest, as a brown man, it was weird when she was brown, right? But then she went back to being white, and it was like, did we do something to you? You're not cool anymore? What's going on? My parents are pretty cool about queer people. That rocks. Yeah, I love it. I think it's good. They made a lot of growth. They still mess up sometimes, but now it's in like fun ways. Like, I was at my parents' house recently, and I was collecting a bunch of clothes to give to one of my friends, because he had just come out as a man, and he's trying to like masculinize his wardrobe. And I told my mom all this, and she kind of made a face when I said came out as a man. And I was like, oh, Mom, he's a trans man. And she was like, oh, my bad, my bad. I thought you had a friend that just hit puberty. All right, that's fair. You have to woken up for that. You guys like how I crack my voice on puberty on purpose? Yeah, that rocks. No, they're cool, though. I like my parents. I think they're cool because they moved to this country as adults. And that's the best time to move to America. Because, like, I was a kid when we moved here, and I spent my whole childhood, like, studying movies to try to fit in. Adult immigrants don't do any of that shit. They just kind of walk in and start picking and choosing their favorite parts of American culture. It's awesome to see, because I'll talk to one of my friends' dads, and he's like, yeah, me? I like Jeopardy, Metallica, and Wicked. All right, dude. I love that you exist. That rocks. I don't know. I really would do that as a kid, though. I would get, like, really into whatever movie I'd just seen. So, like, I saw Rudy, and I got really into football for a week. And then I saw The Blind Side, and I got really into white people for a week. And then I saw Harold and Kumar, and I was like, this is my Black Panther, actually. That's how I need to live the rest of my life. I did that because I was a dumb kid, right? Like, I didn't realize that the main character in a movie is only cool in the context of the movie. Do you know what I mean? If The Blind Side happened in your town, you wouldn't be like, Sandra Bullock, what a cool lady. You'd be like, did you hear Sandra Bullock stole a black kid? And we'll be like, what? Why? For her high school's offensive line, dude, it's not even a good reason. It's crazy. I will tell you guys, I was at a bar recently, and this dude came up to me, and he was like, excuse me, do you go to NYU? And I was like, oh, dude, I think you got the wrong brown guy. And he was like, oh, no, I thought I saw you at the protest earlier. And this was like when the campus protests for Palestine were happening. So I was like, yeah, that's where you see a brown guy. I don't blame you, dude. And he was like, no. You're just a lot more handsome than the other guys there. And I was like, oh, you're hitting on me. I'm so sorry, dude. I don't mean to be a dick. I've had a long day. Please continue hitting on me, I guess. And he goes, no worries. Masala. And I said, excuse me? And he said, it's a greeting that your people use. I want to tell you guys, 1, not my people. 2, not a greeting. But what he was trying to say was mashallah, right? I thought he looked at me and said, masala? I thought this man looked at me and named the spice my people use. And that's crazy, right? Can you imagine if I did that to him? Can you imagine if I looked at him and said nothing at all? I don't like the white people don't use seasoning jokes, honestly. I don't, because like you guys have been hearing them for a while, and now you're seasoning with a vengeance, right? I see it. It's gochujang everything, right? Like you don't invent Nashville hot chicken without being like, I'll show them. That's how that works. All right, guys, you guys have been phenomenal. Keep it going for the rest of your show.